Everybody, I'm gonna be ranking the 7 Tom Ford private blend fragrances I've tried from my least favorite to my most favorite. If you don't know what the private blends are, they're the ones that have these little like graduation caps on them. And so Tom Ford is a designer, but the private blend is kind of like his niche line. So those things are priced at like $250, or they can go up to like 550 depending on the size bottle that you get. So my least favorite out of the 7 I've tried is probably going to be Tuscan Leather. And I know that Tuscan Leather is one of his most popular fragrances, but for me personally, it's not something that I would really rock. I'm not a fan of leather fragrances per se, and all of them are unisex, by the way, but with Tuscan Leather, I think it leans a little bit more masculine. However, I know a lot of girls that like to wear that scent. At least celebrities that I've seen. I don't know anybody in real life that has been rocking Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. But to me, it's a BDSM fragrance. I mean, straight up. If you like the smell of leather and if you like to do freaky things, I think you will enjoy Tuscan Leather. I do know, though, based on my personal experience, that more guys liked the smell of Tuscan Leather than girls. So, for example, if you're somebody that's trying to get a fragrance, like your first private blend fragrance, and you want it to garner a lot of compliments from women, it doesn't, like, at least from what I've seen and what I've experienced, Tuscan Leather doesn't really take it there. It's not really a sexy kind of fragrance, but with guys, like, oh yeah, that smells like leather, that smells real good, so like the guys liked it. Okay, now my in sixth place is Lost Cherry. Now Lost Cherry and Tuscan Leather can honestly flip-flop depending on my mood, but to me, I enjoy cherry in some fragrances, but I don't really like it when it's in the forefront. And to me, Lost Cherry was kind of, it had this sort of like cough syrup Robitussin vibe. It was a bit thick, and the cherry, it was decent, but it was something that when I smelt it, and like throughout the day, I was like, okay, yeah, I don't see myself wearing it, you know? So if you're a cherry fanatic though, and you want a thicker kind of scent, I think Lost Cherry would be nice for you. That one is very unisex. I did have more of my ladies ask for my opinion on Lost Cherry, but I could see it suiting a guy as well. But yeah, just not my thing. Not my personal favorite. Now, in 5th place, I am going to give it to fucking Fabulous. And because that scent, I mean, I love the name of it, honestly, but when I was smelling it, it was a little bit powdery, but then it sort of smelled a little bit like baby wipes for some reason. And I was just like, huh, if I didn't know that this was Tom Ford and I was just because I just wanted to base it off the scent, I was kind of like, yeah, this is something that I would pass on. Like, I wouldn't pay $350 to smell like that personally. But I want to test it again because these are what I remember from like the first time that I tried these fragrances, which was maybe a month ago or 2 months ago at Nordstrom, you know? So when I retest it, maybe things will change, but that was my impression of fucking Fabulous. I didn't really feel like amazing when I was smelling it. I was just kind of like, it's nice. And it was very much close to the scent bubble, like more like a skin scent, honestly. It didn't really scream. It didn't really push out or anything like that. But the more I put my nose to it, I was like, yeah, this sort of smells like baby wipes, which was very interesting. Okay, so now in 4th place, I will give it to, damn, oh, this is gonna be tough. I am gonna give it to Soleil Blanc. And honestly, it's because it's kind of cold outside right now. If this was the summertime, this list would have some restructuring, but because it's like December 6th and like with the cold weather anyway, so Soleil Blanc is his summery coconut fragrance, and I actually really love that one. That's a fragrance that I enjoy smelling on other people, which is why it's ranked kind of in the mid-tier for me, or like in 4th place for me. But if this list was things I like to smell on other people, then Soleil would be higher. So that one, yeah, it's like a creamy coconut fragrance, and it did have like this blast of florals in the opening that punched me in the face the first time I smelled it. And the first time I smelled Soleil Blanc was months ago. It was one of the first Tom Fords that I smelled it. In the opening, I was like, whoa, this is a bit much, right? But then when I smelt it in the dry down, I became obsessed with the fragrance. And actually, it wasn't a few months ago. It was probably a year ago, around, well, maybe 11 months ago when I tried that fragrance. But it still made an impression on me. And I've smelt it a couple times since then when I would like go into Nordstrom and test it. But yeah, that one is a really lovely coconut fragrance that does perform. I know that some people say it doesn't, but I don't know how that, like how people are saying that, oh, this thing doesn't last. I'm assuming they're going nose blind to it because that thing would not leave. Like it was definitely pushing out for a couple hours, like for 1 to 2 hours. And then even at that, it was something that I was smelling like it was like wafting in the air a little bit, you know? So it is a fragrance that doesn't get too like stuck in your nose when you're wearing it and you don't get irritated with the scent. It definitely just, it reaches, it radiates. So 4th place is Soleil Blanc. Now in 3rd place, damn, right now I'm gonna give it to Noir de Noir. And I really do love this fragrance, but I feel like I wore it so much to a point that I sort of got sick of it just for a little bit. And even right now I'm not reaching for it that much, but I was literally going in with this fragrance every single day. This one is the Valentine's Day in a bottle scent. It smells like dark chocolate, like the most luxurious dark chocolate, and some fresh roses with a little bit of wine in the background. It's very much a romantic fragrance. And when I do have people smell it, they're always like, oh yeah, that smells so good. Oh man, me even smelling it right now. God, I love it. I love it. Damn. Okay, yeah, so 3rd place is Noir de Noir. This one does not, I mean, it does perform, but not that well. It's not, like, to me, this isn't a fragrance that lasts over 8 hours and it's detectable. Like, I can still smell this on myself in 8 hours, but I definitely have to get my nose closer to my skin. Honestly, I get around 6 or 7 with this fragrance, and typically I'll do like 6 to 8 sprays of this. If you do 3 to 5, I think it might last 6 hours or something like that. But yeah, so Noir de Noir is my 3rd place, has a special place in my heart. My number 2 is going to be Tobacco Vanille. And the reason Tobacco Vanille is so high up is, yeah, yes, I am craving like wearing it and smelling it again. Because the first time I wore it, within the first couple hours, I wasn't too crazy about it. I was like, damn, I honestly prefer Spice Bomb Extreme, you know, because I just got this gingerbread cookie thing. It totally hit me with a scent I didn't expect. Like when I read Tobacco Vanille, I thought it was going to be a tobacco vanilla fragrance, but on me, it smelled like Christmas. It smelled like gingerbread cookies, which is what threw me off. But the longer and longer it wore on my skin, the more obsessed with it I got. And it was the fragrance that even with me just like, because I sprayed it on my wrist, like with my hands down, me just like minding my business, I was still able to smell it. And then of course, when the vanilla starts to wrap in more with the fragrance, it becomes delightful. So the reason Tobacco Vanille is high up is not only because the scent became very addicting for me, but because that thing easily lasted over 14 hours on my skin. And I only did 1 spray of it. You know, I can't imagine actually, if I did 3 sprays of that thing, I would be good the whole entire day. Even until the next day, I'd probably still be able to smell it on myself. So that's a fragrance that doesn't go away. And I think if you're looking for a long-lasting Tom Ford scent and you want it sweet, I think Tobacco Vanille is a good one to go for. Okay, so Tobacco Vanille is number 2. And if you can already guess, my number 1 is Oud Wood. Back in the day, Noir de Noir was my number 1 and this was my number 2. But I've been wearing this a lot recently because it's very fresh, it's versatile, it's something that I can use daily in this California weather, which is why it's up so high. And this scent is just a compliment monster. And aside from that, regardless of compliments, I wear this for me too. Like if I'm not even like, I don't have plans to meet with people, but I'm running errands, I'll wear Oud Wood. And like when it's hot outside and I'll just be in my car and be like, damn, I smell fantastic. So this fragrance always brightens my mood. And I like how unique like the wood blend is with this fragrance because I honestly haven't smelled a fragrance like this before. Now I know that There are some niche fragrances that people have recommended to me to like try out, that are similar to Oud Wood, or maybe they're like Oud Wood, but they take it up 10 levels, you know, but I just have not gotten my nose on it. And for the most part, when people around me have smelled this fragrance, they also really enjoyed it. Ooh, looking a little bit messy right now with the hair. But anyways, yeah, Oud Wood would be my number one. The downside with this fragrance though is that it does not perform. Okay, this scent on, well, you know what? On me it does. Like this holds to my skin really, really nicely. So I get around 8 hours with this fragrance, but I do like 7 to 9 sprays. I can do easily over 10 sprays of this because it's something that doesn't irritate me, because I have walked out of the house with 15 sprays of this on and it's not an issue. But like if you're someone that's trying to play a little bit safer but you want it to last, I think 8 sprays would be solid for it. But yeah, typically for the average person, like they get around 5 to 6 hours with this fragrance if they're only doing 3 to 5. But for the most part, when people buy themselves a Tom Ford and like it's a fragrance that's around $250, they're kind of hesitant to pull the trigger on this thing more than 5 times or even more than 3 times. Like, oh no, it's expensive, so I want to cherish it. So they'll only do one, but the scent will disappear. And then they'll complain about how they bought something expensive that doesn't last. So make sure that person won't be you, and just, I mean, you already bought it. So make sure people smell it on you, or make sure you smell it on yourself. That's the most important. But anyways, those are the 7 I've tried, from my least favorite to most favorite. Let me know which one your favorite is in the comment section, and I'm gonna see if I can leave them linked in the description. I'll see, but I'll leave the names of them there. Anyways, have a good one. See you in the next video. Bye.